Is America not compassionate enough towards the Syrian refugees? Hello, I'm Richard Demico, and this is the topic of today's video. And this is sparked by a couple of media outlets I've been listening to, or caught, audio captures from. Whereas they're saying that we are not being compassionate enough, and as a matter of fact, I've seen this on Facebook as well. They're saying that we're not being compassionate enough towards the Syrian refugees as it is part of our culture and our history. And while it is true, I will not contest that to be the case. There are a lot of different variables at play here. And I'm going to start off by addressing, not the variables, we'll get to that later in the video, but the people on Facebook who are just a cesspool of misinformation. And they're, of course, because there was something on Facebook that was, it's about the governor allowing in refugees, because some states are barring them from entering. And, of course, they make the arguments, we are a compassionate people, this is part of our history, part of our culture, we have to accept these people in with open arms. Well, when you have your arms open and you're hugging somebody's bomb vest, that's your choice. But it's not going to be my choice to get killed by somebody that you allowed to come here under false pretense. So let's look at who these refugees are. They are, of course, from Syria, which is in the Middle East. And if you look at the media outlets and these audio bits that I've listened to, you get the impression that everybody's going to be a rocket scientist or some sort of great man someday, and they're all orphan children, regular children, and women. Now, if you add all the percentages together of the 4.289 million registered, keyword registered, Syrian refugees, yes, a majority of them would fall under either a woman or a child, but about a quarter are military-aged men. And that's where the problem is, because even if 1/10 of 1% of 25% of the refugees are infiltrated by ISIS, infiltrated by Al-Qaeda, who these organizations have expressly stated they want to, and that they're trying to, get terrorist cells within these refugees. Even if there is but one that makes it past the vetting process, and the vetting process in and of itself is a fallacy, because we don't have the data pools, which we had in Iraq, for instance, whereas we know nothing about these people. It's going to be very hard to vet anybody beyond basic questioning. But I'll digress on that. But even if one terrorist gets through here and kills an American, that's blood on the hands of the president. That's blood on the hands of the administration. You could argue for other instances that they already have blood in their hands, which I may or may not agree with you there, but with this particular instance, we are facing a refugee crisis with a dynamic that we have never seen before. Whereas the refugees, their religion is incompatible with the principles of our nation and our constitution, but their religion dictates that we are all infidels, and they are at polar odds with us. But in addition to that, the crazies over there want to kill us. Who brings in a refugee who wants to kill us? Well, you could say, they're not a refugee if they want to kill us. Well, you're probably right, but they're still under the guise of refugees. And that just brings us to such a problematic impasse here, which I think that if we even bring in one refugee, it's probably too much. And the children, of course, are those who are educated over there, even if it's at the age of 8 years old. They're still being given the same indoctrination for the political involvement of the Muslim religion, and it's just not something that's kosher. Let's put it that way. I think that even the consideration of taking in even one Syrian refugee is more compassionate than we have to be. I think at this point in time, the American government needs to be compassionate towards the American people. Just look what the American government has done with the South American immigration issue. They brought in all these people who are gangsters, who are just full of disease, and put it on the burdens of the taxpayers. And of course, nobody knew about it until it was uncovered, and of course, it made big media coverage at that point. But what's our administration doing with these people? My perspective is that even consideration of even one refugee is too much compassion from the American government. The compassion needs to be redirected toward the American people as it should be. What are your comments, thoughts, or concerns with the refugees? Leave it in the comment section down below. I look forward to a couple more videos this month. I am Richard Demico. Thank you very much for tuning in.